Are the things that you weren't happy with last week, did they fix most of those tonight? A couple of little things you weren't happy with last week.
Yeah, to a degree. I think we obviously the first quarter we didn't get off to too flash a start. As opposed to last week, we were very strong in that first quarter. But what was pleasing for us was to be able to defend pretty well, in that second half. So, we never let the Titans get over our line. So we're pretty pleased with that.
The ankle injury did what the Titans couldn't. Stopped Conrad. How is he?
Last I seen, he was going around hugging a lot of people in the crowd there, so he seemed to be pretty happy. And no, he'll be fine. He's a little bit of a foot injury, so we could have got him back on, but we kept him off as a precaution. So he should be good.
Is that the same thing that bothered him at Penrith and last week?
No.
Oh right, it's new.
Yeah. It's a new injury, but it's fine. We could have got him back on there.
Still developing nicely, isn't he?
Sorry?
Conrad's still developing nicely.
Yeah, he is. He's a good young talent, and it's good for our game when young talent like that comes through, and we're really pleased with how he's progressing. He turns up training, and he's disciplined, and he really applies himself in training. He's got good respect for his leadership players and coaching staff. He's a good young fella. So touch wood, he stays nice and healthy for the rest of the season.
Brian, you've got a really team of really young guys out there at the moment. They all seem to be stepping up to the mark. You happy with that?
Yeah, we're all very pleased for our young guys, and they're developing experience as we go, and we feel like we're building a bit as a team with all the players because they're getting experience from each situation. So, tonight we were behind by 10, I think it was. So it was good to see everybody remain calm and come back, and be solid in that second half. So they're really good experiences that the young players get, and you can talk about it, but you can't beat the actual it actually happening. So it's we're getting experience as we go.
Simon, you played some rugby union yourself. Were you scoring hat tricks in your second year in league?
Yeah, not that I remember. I think I did a nerdy the first couple of years. So he's going good, eh? And, just real pleased for him.
Are you surprised how quickly he's come on?
So I guess hearing from when he first came into 20s, he hadn't played much league, so it definitely suits him, the game, and he'll continue to grow, and it's very good for the club.
So when you feel like some of the teams will start looking over their shoulder a bit now, that you guys are starting to build some momentum and playing like you can?
I'm not too sure. We've definitely got a lot of improvement in us. We're still doing a few things fairly poorly that we need to get better at, especially coming up against Brisbane next weekend. So it'll be a good test then, and good to see where we're at really against Brisbane, who are going pretty well.
The experience of last year, does that give you confidence? I think you're in pretty much identical situation. I don't know if they can get us through this year, but it's nice to know. I guess the majority of these players have done it before. But it's definitely a business part of the year, and I've got to string a few together to move up the ladder.
Especially now the game's over, I thought we really botched the game ourselves. We set ourselves up with a good lead. We were a little bit loose defensively, but I was confident in the second half that possession was going to be the key, and for whatever reason, we just couldn't hang on to the ball.
So was your completion rate like that when you were struggling? You lost a few in a row earlier in the year, but
no.
Was it worse tonight than it was?
No, that's the worst I've ever seen in the second half. I think it was down about 30%. Yeah, and there's no excuse. Hopefully it's a one-off. I haven't seen that sort of statistics come out of a game for half a footy, but Yeah, is what it is.
Can you put that down to some players, not having played in the team a lot this year?
No, mate, they've played footy all their lives. You taught from 4-year-old to catch a footy. And that's what we didn't do.
Scotty obviously had to do a lot of defence early on that second half. Do you think that sort of tired the guys out a bit too much and you just couldn't really hold on from that?
I don't know. It just felt like we were a different footy team in that second half. Your completion rate like that, it doesn't matter who you play. You're going to put yourself under heaps of pressure. So I guess at the end of the day, we just shot ourselves in the foot, and they took full advantage of it.
John, even when you're in a bit of a rough early in the year, you said you were always happy with the effort. Is that the same tonight?
Yeah, the effort's there, mate. There's no doubt. The amount of defence they had to do in the second half, and we lost a couple. We lost Champion and we lost Luke O'Dwyer as well in the second half. We said after the game, it's a given that you turn up and give effort. That's a given. You're representing your town, your club, yourself, your family. It's a given. You turn up and give effort. And that was there again. And that's the thing that's fixable. Don't know how many troops we'll get back next week, but in no way was that an excuse. We created enough chances, and we showed to ourselves in the first half that we were good enough to beat that side. But we had to play well, and we didn't do it.
Bo said yesterday that another recurrence of the ankle could see him having surgery. Is that a possibility? And do you know anything about the other guys from Origin?
They're just painful injuries with Nate, Luke Bailey, Birdie. Harrow will be a couple of weeks longer. So I'm not really hopeful that they'll be there next week. But we won't probably know till late in the week. With Bo, I'm not sure. It's same ankle, so it probably doesn't look good.
Scott, what do you make of that Conrad Hurrell? He's only been playing league for 2 years. He's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's a big boy, eh? We made him look good.
Was Luke O'Dwyer just a eye cut or something?
Yeah, he just got a bad split. To go off and get it stitched up.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
Tony, first half a bit scratchy, but second half you seem to get your completions down at bat and your field position coming, and the rest sort of fell into place for you once you got that field position and a bit of possession.
It's a simple game, and
Simple game, yeah.
Our defence, was looking a bit dodgy in that first 20 minutes. But if you're going to give the ball back to the opposition team, inside your half 3 or 4 times in a row, then it's going to put you under pressure. So, another lesson learned. It's a young team, but I thought, in the back end of those last 60 minutes, we actually controlled the ball.
Yeah.
We spoke to about just controlling field position. We thought if we give ourselves the opportunity to play the football down inside their 30, then we'd score points, and that proved right in the end. They were a little bit undermanned, but that was even probably a bit bigger reason for us to play the football in their half.
Yeah. Sometimes we overlook the fact, and I thought your bench tonight really injected himself in the game when they come on. They kept the momentum going. I thought it was a great bench effort tonight.
Yeah, well, actually, they made a pact amongst themselves. They were a little bit disappointed in their efforts last week. Jacob Lillyman and Sione Lausey. We've got two good props at the moment starting our momentum with Ben Marcelino and Russell Packer, and the two big boys made a pact to actually continue those things going. Yeah. We're a little bit fortunate we had Steve Papera come on, so we sort of had 3 middles to continue the work. And I thought they did a really good job.
And Lewis Brown's not bad coming off the bench.
No, he's hard to tackle, and against, I thought if we just played some footy through their middle, then Lewis would get some opportunities to run there.
Yeah.
And, they were a little, like I said, they were a little bit undermanned today, and Lewis was good enough to find a couple of their tiring defenders.
You just touched on it before, and I mentioned to Brian in there, but it's such a young side, but they're all stepping up to the mark and making their presence felt. They're not shy about being an A grade or holding back. They're really giving it all.
No, and I suppose the competition's getting younger and younger, and they've got to grow up quick. And we've got basically an under-20s backline at the moment, but that competition is most of those boys have been in that grade for a couple of years, so that they've been through a couple of grand finals in the NYC, so they've had a bit of pressure on themselves. So it's something that the under-20s has been really beneficial for us in terms of giving them that big game experience.
Yeah. One thing that over all the years the Warriors have played in the comp, is their ability to have offloads, and you've got heaps from across the park, and that scares teams if you can get those offloads away.
Yeah, it does. I actually think we're probably a little bit down on previous years, but you know, as the season draws on and the players get a little bit more confidence. You know, if we can string a few wins together, then we've certainly got the players who've got the ability to do that. All our forwards can offload, and obviously Folletti, Matteo, he's led the comp in offloads I think the last 3 years. So, you know, he's been a little bit more conservative in the way he plays, which I think's been good for him. But we know he's got the ability to do it, and hopefully we can do a bit more of that in the bigger games.
Because mind you, sometimes when you're doing those offloads, it can shoot yourself in the foot too. Sometimes you lose it, don't you?
Yeah, well, you know, after we scored after 2 minutes, you know, I thought we probably played a little bit loose. You know, and it wasn't sort of the offloads, but probably pushed passes that we shouldn't have. You know, probably just didn't respect the opposition and the ball enough. So, no, I think that's a sign of quite a young team. But hopefully that's another lesson learned, a little bit more experience on the way, which we've got some big games coming up, and hopefully that'll help us in, starting with the Broncos this week.
Yeah, I'm going to say a bit of a benchmark for you, the benchmark side to come out. You've got a tough assignment coming over here again.
Yeah, well, if we put together the first 20 minutes like we did, they'll blast off the park. You know, if we can bottle that last 60 minutes where I thought we were reasonably controlled, got to our kick and chased hard, then we'll give ourselves a chance.
Just a point of interest, do you travel back and come back?
We are, yeah.
So last time we stayed out here, you didn't go so well, did you?
No, we didn't, so it's probably a lesson learned.
Yeah.
I think our boys spend enough time with each other anyway, so we're going to fly in on Thursday and hopefully do a hit and run on the Broncos on Friday and get out Saturday.
Just a quick last question, how does that affect your team? You do more travelling than any other side in the comp?
Yeah, we do, but we don't know anything different. So, you know, for the new players who come into the side from some of the Aussie boys, you know, it is a big difference for them. But I think our Kiwi boys, and you know, as I said with the under-20s, they're doing it as well. We're just used to it. So, you know, we go Broncos, and then we're going to Perth in a couple of weeks, and we're up to the Cowboys. So we're just used to chalking up those air miles.
Yeah, well, you've got your foot in the door at the moment. You're in the 8, so from here, onward, I suppose, eh? Got to keep going.
Yeah, but you know, it's in the 8, but there's plenty of sides around us who got the ability to overtake us. So we've just got to, you know, just keep improving and, you know, win all our home games and hopefully pick a couple up away.